Sometimes the biggest lie we told isn't in what we see, but in what we don't. In broad daylight, a woman vanishes without a trace, and the case quickly becomes one of the most puzzling mysteries in her city. Caroline Hayes was an ordinary woman, living an ordinary life. But her disappearance left more questions than answers. Today, we investigate the disappearance of Caroline, a case filled with clues that seem to lead nowhere. A story where even the smallest detail might hide the key to a dark truth. Caroline Hayes was 32 years old and lived a quiet life in Spokane, Washington. She worked as a marketing assistant at a local company and lived alone in an apartment near downtown. Her friends described her as outgoing and kind, someone who had no enemies and always helped those in need. But what seemed like a peaceful life soon turned into a nightmare. It was an ordinary Tuesday in early April 2011 when Caroline went out to lunch with a friend at a nearby restaurant. Around 12:30 p.m., she said goodbye and decided to walk to her office parking lot. But she never made it there. Witnesses reported seeing Caroline walking down the street, but after that, she simply vanished. The last confirmed sighting of her was in front of a commercial building, with no clear reason for her sudden disappearance. Authorities immediately launched a search, questioning friends, family, and co-workers. No concrete leads emerged. Her phone was found in her bag, but tracking showed the last signal had come from a park far from where she disappeared. Police searched the city and reviewed surveillance footage, but there were no clear images of Caroline after she left her friend. The case was heading down an increasingly strange path. Months later, an unexpected clue emerged. While reanalyzing surveillance footage from the area, one investigator noticed something strange. A person wearing a dark coat was seen walking toward Caroline at the exact moment she vanished. The figure couldn't be identified, but something about their posture and pace seemed unusual, as if they knew where Caroline would be and were preparing to intercept her. But who was this person? Theories about Caroline's disappearance began to take shape. Some believed she was abducted by someone she knew personally. Others suggested it might have been revenge from a coworker with whom Caroline had argued months earlier. There were also rumors she had started dating a man nobody really knew, raising suspicions about his possible involvement. But then a darker theory surfaced. Some investigators believed Caroline's disappearance might be connected to a human trafficking ring. Spokane, as a commercial and transportation hub, is known as a pass-through route for illicit activity. The last clue, found a motel receipt tucked inside Caroline's jacket pocket, sparked even more questions. Apparently, she may have been the target of a planned abduction. But why? And who would orchestrate something like that? To this day, the disappearance of Caroline Hayes remains unsolved. Police are still investigating every lead and theory, but the lack of solid evidence has left the case at a standstill. What really happened that April Tuesday? Was Caroline kidnapped by someone she trusted, or was she the victim of something far more sinister? What we do know is that the city of Spokane was never the same after she vanished. And with the case still open, fear and uncertainty continue to linger in the community. Although Caroline Hayes' case remains without answers, it's important to remember that behind every disappearance is a story of loss, pain, and hope for resolution. If you have any information that might help solve this case, don't hesitate to contact the authorities. Because maybe the truth about what happened to Caroline Hayes is still waiting to be uncovered. And until then, the shadow of mystery continues to hang over the city of Spokane, where the disappearance of an ordinary woman remains an unanswered question.